Good evening, everyone. It's Thursday, October 7th in the evening. I wanted to take a few minutes to address the Our Lady of Peace community about my favorite subject, COVID. There seems to be a lot of talk about COVID, in particular as it relates to our children, when they should stay home, when they should go home, how long they should be home, when can they come back. And of course, it's very clear, isn't it? If you talk to 10 people, you get 10 different answers. But I want to assure the Our Lady of Peace community that we are trying to follow the moving target of the directives from the Columbus Board of Health and from the Franklin County Board of Health. And the target is moving. They have changed. The directives I put out a month and a half ago in the school handbook have changed. The update I put out 3 weeks ago have changed. And what I'm going to read to you tonight may change by next week. But I'm going to kind of go through it a little bit with you and see if I can help bring some clarity to what we're trying to do at Our Lady of Peace. And of course, our ultimate goal is very simple. We're trying to keep COVID out of our school. And I hope that that's something we can all agree to. The problem with COVID is it's not like the chicken pox. It's not like the measles. It's not like the mumps where it's really clear you've got COVID. For a lot of people, COVID looks like a cold or the flu. I'm not a doctor. I can't see or tell that someone has COVID. The only way we know that someone has COVID is to get tested. And so the Columbus Board of Health has come up with the following directives that we should follow for our students and the adults in our building. We're supposed to stay at home if we have one of the following symptoms of COVID: a fever of 104 degrees, 100.4 degrees or higher. 104 would be really high. New or worsened cough, loss of taste or smell, a sore throat, or this last one, which is giving everybody the fits, new or worsened nasal congestion or runny nose. If you have two of the following symptoms, you should stay home: a headache, body aches, new or worsened fatigue, nausea, vomiting, or diarrhea. You're supposed to have two of those to stay home. Though I would imagine if you've got nausea, vomiting, or diarrhea, you're staying home anyway. Now, what happens if you have those symptoms? Well, in the old days, if you had a runny nose, you wipe your nose, you move on with your life. But that's not the case anymore. You're supposed to keep your child at home until the following criteria are met. If your child goes and gets tested for COVID, and that test result is positive, you have to be cleared by the local public health department. And believe me, if you or a member of your family, your child, gets COVID, you will be working with the Columbus Public Health Department or the Franklin County Public Health Department. If it's a pending result, you've gotten the test, but you don't have the results back, you have to stay home. And what the nurses around, the school nurses, have agreed is that if there's a chance that one of your children has COVID and you're waiting to get those results, all the children should stay home until those results are known. Hopefully it's not COVID and we're done and we can move on with our lives. But if it is COVID, we don't want to risk having your other children come to school, even if they're asymptomatic, and there's a chance that COVID may be in your household. If you take the COVID test and it's negative, you can come back to school 24 plus hours without fever and improved symptoms. So you shouldn't have any of those symptoms that we've described before. If you choose not to have your child tested, and here's the hard part, if you choose not to have your child tested, the Columbus Board of Health is saying you have to stay home for 10 days after symptom onset. So you get that runny nose on Monday, you're supposed to stay home for 10 more days and not have any symptoms. That's why we're recommending going to get tested if you've got one of those symptoms. And we know that the days in terms of length of time that test results come back vary. We've heard that the urgent cares are quicker than other places, and so that's what we recommend. It's hard. It's hard. And it's hard to know, again, whether that runny nose, that congestion is COVID or not. And our goal is the same. We want to keep COVID out of this school. Because if someone in our community has COVID and they're in school, it's going to mean a lot of us are quarantined, and we don't want to go there. We don't want to have that happen if we can avoid it. We try to do the social isolation whenever we can here. We try to keep our kids 6 feet apart. Your kids are doing a great job wearing the masks. Please talk to your students, your children, about wearing masks, keeping those masks up, keeping them over their nose, keeping them over their mouth, and washing their hands whenever possible. And our teachers are doing a great job of trying to work with our kids on doing that. If you have questions, if you have concerns, please contact me. Please contact the school office, Susan Gualtieri. Please contact Gina Connor, and we will try to help you as much as we can. We're trying to be consistent, we're trying to be fair, and we're trying to do what we're told to do. I did not get a degree in medicine, so I'm just following orders. And that's what we all have to do during this crazy time. It makes me wish for the good old days when the most contagious issue we had was lice. And all lice does is make you itch. But we're dealing with a disease that for many people is not a bad result, but for some, of course, is a terrible result. And we just rather no one get it. I hope this helps. If it doesn't, call Gina. Gina probably is much better at explaining this than I am. But we want to continue to work together. We want to continue to keep our school open so that we can keep educating your children. Thank you for sending your kids to Our Lady of Peace. We love your children. We want them to be at their best. We want to keep them safe. We want to keep them healthy. We want to keep them happy. So have a great night. I'm not going to finish with a joke because it's late, but I will see you tomorrow at morning prayer if you follow that. Thank you. Good night.